Hey everyone, it's almost Halloween. I wanted to talk a little bit about Halloween and the spiritual significance of this time of year. I mean, there's several holidays happening, not just Halloween, but it's pretty cool. So, you might already know that Halloween comes from a Celtic pagan holiday called Samhain, and Samhain falls halfway between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice on October 31st. It marks the transition between the year's lighter and darker halves. The Celts believed that during Samhain, the boundaries between the mortal realm and the world of the dead blurred. So spirits could cross over and interact with the living, and this allowed communion with the ancestors. Samhain also presents us with the opportunity to once more celebrate the cycle of death and rebirth. Most people today don't really celebrate death, but death is not necessarily a negative thing. Without death, there is no rebirth. And sometimes old ways, they need to die to make room for new and better ways of doing things. We all know this is true, but most people still fear death. But I like to say that if you live your life to the fullest, then you will have lived a satisfying life, and then you'll be ready to die when the time comes. Besides, I believe death, it's just a transition. It's a transition from existing in a body to existing without one, because we are, the supreme consciousness anyway. We're a God living in human bodies, so we don't really die. It's just the body that passes away and disintegrates. And that's why I say death is just a transition. And I also had Karuna Mai tell me the same thing when my father passed away, my biological father. I was fortunate enough to see her right around the time that it happened. And that's what she told me. And it actually comforted me. And then I had Mohanji, he told me the same thing. Just this past year, he mentioned the same thing, that death is just a transition. And I really believe that's true. So, we might as well have a happy Halloween, everybody. And we might as well celebrate the Day of the Dead, which falls on November 1st and November 2nd. It's a Mexican holiday. And it's for honoring and remembering those who have died. And we also have a new moon coming up. And that falls on November 1st at 8:47 a.m. Eastern Time. New moons are great because new moons represent new beginnings. They usher in new beginnings for us all. So it's great that, we can honor the past and those who have died and then turn around and celebrate the new beginnings that inevitably result from the space being cleared for new things to enter. Oh, and there's one more holiday coming up that I wanted to mention, and that's the Hindu holiday Diwali. It falls on October 31st in India, but here in the US, a lot of people will celebrate it on November 1st. It symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. So there's so much to celebrate. Happy fall holidays, everyone.